All right, well, Jim Fowler is a very tough act to follow, but I will do my best. So my goal here today is to get you to not fear the tweeter, and what I mean by that is that we need to start thinking about social media in the classroom as a friend, and specifically how we can use Twitter to engage our students, to help them participate, to help prepare them for the world, and to get them to tweet their attendance. Now, the biggest challenge we have, of course, is students need to know social media for their jobs. A lot of jobs out there require social media, but we don't actually want to teach it to them, and we don't actually want them to use it. So as is symbolized in this Dilbert cartoon, company forbids the use of Facebook, Twitter at work, we don't trust you at home, and if you blog about anything, you're fired. That's pretty much the way that we're treating, Freudian slip, that we are treating students as they want to deal with social media. So the challenge is that we think it's going to lead to this, which I'm not sure why. Actually, there's a picture of kids on phones. It's supposed to be here. And the goal is that we think students are not going to be paying attention, that they are going to be playing on their phones, they're not going to be listening to us, they're going to be goofing around. And the fact is they're not listening to us anyway as we sit there and we lecture at them. So what we have to figure out is how can we engage them in such a way that they will use their social media constructively, they will communicate with us, they'll communicate with the outside world, and they will build their brand, the brand you, before they ever leave the college environment. Now, we can certainly have this idea that social media makes students do stupid things. We have a lot of evidence to support that. So on the left here, she got a visit from the Secret Service after she said someone needed to assassinate Obama. This is far more about Dave's massage than I ever hoped to know. And the fact that this woman didn't like her boss resulted in her being fired. So we have the proof. Actually, what we have proof of is that a lack of education about social media makes everybody use it badly. So here's an Olympic athlete that was kicked off the Greek Olympic team for her racist tweet. We have in the middle here Tony Grossi, who used to be the beat writer for the Browns, for the Cleveland Plain Dealer. When he felt the need to tweet this about the Browns owner, he was fired. And then KitchenAid actually hired someone to handle their Twitter account, and this is what they felt the need to tweet out during one of the debates. So what we have to actually do is to stop being afraid that our students are going to do things wrong and start to think about what they can do right by using Twitter. There are right ways to use Twitter. There are ways that will make Twitter engage them in the real world, ways that will make them responsible, and ways that will make them be better prepared as they go outside. So I'm going to hope that you're going to embrace with me this idea of using Twitter for good and not evil, and I use it to take attendance in my classes. Now, it sounds like a pretty simple idea, but it's actually more complex than that, because what it means to these people, who are my students, is that they have to tweet something useful every single day. They have to come up with some original concept that we've talked about. They can't just tweet out the hashtag, and trust me, every single one of them has tried to do it. I won't count their attendance on that day. I give them one pass. Then they need to start to engage with the world. What are they learning? What are they experiencing? What are things that other people may be interested in learning? Because that's the key with social media. It's not what you had for lunch. It's not whether you think I'm an idiot. It's what exactly you think other people need to know that will benefit them. We use hashtags for every class, and every class is monitored and critiqued. I tell them I'm their Twitter fairy, and I will make comments to them about how they're tweeting, what they're doing, and how they can do it better. And more importantly, they're connected to me and to the outside world at all hours of the day and night, because they're connected to social media at all hours. Whatever questions they have, when they're concerned, when they just tweet out, I'm really stressed out, now I'm responding to them, and I'm saying, hey, let's talk about this. I'm here. I'm listening to you. We're also teaching them communication skills, because Steve Martin has proven that you can actually tweet concisely and clearly in 140 characters. We are teaching them that you have to be concise on Twitter, because like it or not, you only get 140 characters. We're also showing them information that's worthwhile. So, we can add comments, we can add hashtags, we can add links, all of the things that will enable us to communicate with each other, make each other smarter. That's what crowdsourcing is all about. That's what social media is all about. Now, this is where we started. This is one of my students, Dom. I love him, but this wasn't the greatest, most inspirational tweet I ever saw, but it was the first class that we had together. And he was tweeting what his experience was. This, however, is one of my favorite tweets of all time, talking about the First Amendment, freedom of speech, and my student, Mackenzie, was very quick to note what she could and could not say about me. Now we get down to business, though, and we start to tweet things that are a little bit more useful, story ideas which connect us to sources. We are getting in touch with people we could have never reached before. Anderson Cooper follows us on Twitter. Joel Stein from Time is going to Skype in because he saw us on Twitter. We begin to grow by starting to tweet out things that other people need to know. These are events that are happening on campus that our students are sending out. They're getting followers both inside and outside of their class, university, and the world environment because they're contributing something to the stream. This is what our tweets look like. We're communicating with each other. This is a screen capture of 3 different classes at work. One, we went to the Supreme Court. One's talking.